Hello, everyone, and we are live. Welcome to A Bookish Moment. I'm Sarah Burr.
And I'm J.C. Kenney, and I want to wish everybody I believe, a happy Ramadan, happy Mardi Gras, happy New Lunar New Year for our UK fans, happy Pancake Day. All of that compares, though, to the fact that we have an amazing, brand new author visiting today. Sarah, I think it's time to get bookish.
Yes, and we are also welcoming, hopefully, a slew of new folks across different platforms. This is our very first
Indeed.
episode where we are not only streaming on YouTube Live, but we are also on Twitch and Facebook at this point in time. So that's very exciting. If you see me like moving my head around a bunch, guys, it's because I'm looking at all of our different screens and our chats and all of that good stuff. So I hope our sound is coming in well. Please let us know if you are in the chat. Say hi. We'd love to hear from you. And as JC said, we are very excited to be celebrating debut cozy mystery author Shelley Marsh. We have so much to talk about as we get a peek inside her very first book. But before we dive in there, Shelley, I would love to learn a little bit more about you. What got you interested in writing cozy mysteries in the first place? And why did you decide to go with this estate sale angle? Because as our readers know, cozy mysteries all have this kind of like hook that gets a reader in, whether it's a craft, whether it's, a type of job that the main character has. And a estate sale, that is like one of I think that's like the first one that I've ever come across. So I'm always interested, like, how did those ideas come to be?
I love going to estate sales, and mostly it's for me, it's about snooping more than shopping because it's like you can just walk into the house and you can see it's like walking into the person's life and what they collected and maybe places they went. And my storyteller brain starts spinning stories about, what they must have been like and what their lives were like, filling in all these blanks with fictional stories, probably. So so that's one reason I brought that into it because it's my own hobby. And then the HOA part, I served on the HOA in my neighborhood briefly, and that was an eye-opening experience because it was I didn't know what to expect. I was totally naive. Somebody said, come help us out in the HOA, and I filled out the application and I wrote I was going to join so I could meet my neighbors. But you will meet your neighbors if you join the HOA, but it's not always positive. So I joke that during like long meetings, it gave me an opportunity to come up with the plot for this book which was originally called Murder in the HOA. I didn't know I was
Well,
writing a cozy at first. I
Oh,
I was kind of learning as I went along.
so along that line, tell us your, give us your deets, tell us your backstory. How did you get from, there to your debut novel? By the way, folks, it just came out February 10th. It's still unofficially still a book baby, so go out and support Shelley and go get it right now. Okay, well, no, go get it right after the show's over. Then that'll be back. Stick around. So over to you, Shelley.
Oh, okay. I was born in Washington, D.C. No, just kidding. I won't start there. I started out I wanted to be a writer when I was a kid, but they told me that's not a good career to pursue. So I became a speech therapist. I was
oh,
interested in how
wow.
people learn language. But then after I stopped working while I was having my kids, I went to some events with them. I went to there was a reptile wrangler at the library for the children's show, and I pitched a story about it to my local newspaper, and they picked it up. So that was like my first freelance gig, and that was the beginning of my transition to going back to what I originally wanted to do, which was writing. So I wrote some for the local paper, and then I was on staff at a magazine, Northeast Florida magazine called Void, and that was a lot of fun. But then I really wanted to write fiction, and so I took some classes at my local college, UNF. They had some community education classes, and so I took some writing classes, and I eventually got brave enough to do the workshops where we exchange pages and give each other feedback. And then every week my goal was just write something that they would think was funny. And so, and I didn't, like I said, I didn't know I was writing a mystery per se yet. And so I thought, well, I need a lot of suspects. So how do I get them all together? I'll throw a party. So I just had a party, and I'm in this story, in this scene, and just tried to make everybody look suspicious. And I didn't know who the killer was yet, but that's where it was born.
Oh wow. That so I think that number one, for your first cozy mystery, your first book, that's so like so cool that you went into it just kind of to figure out who the killer was, who done it. When I first started writing, I needed such structure and like a step by step guide from myself. So like a very explicit outline to tell me like this is what you have to do, Sarah, to finish this book.
I came around to that.
You
Yes,
did okay.
eventually.
Well, because I find that like if I don't have an outline, I'm very adrift in what I'm doing,
Mhm.
and the way that you start off Emma's story, where you have a brilliant, fun setup for discovering this victim, this murder, that is a little bit. I guess it's a little illegal in its own way, in how
The gray area.
a gray area is right
They
because there's
didn't
a
break in.
yes,
She had a
Laura did
key.
have a key, and we'll let you set that up for our audience member Shelley, so they can understand what's the full picture. But I thought that the way that you introduced your cast of suspects was so clever and direct at the same time. Like it just like roots me in of like, okay, like let me put on my thinking cap, let me start analyzing everything that these people are doing. And it really, the pacing of it is just so nice and so crisp. So with this being a kind of like you're just kind of going with it to figure out like, okay, who's going to be the killer in this novel. How did you uh, and I guess without being too spoilery, how did you know that you'd chosen the right killer out of your list of suspects that you created? Did you have doubts at all? Did you switch your mind throughout the process? Was there some changes that you were going through, figuring out the character by character? I'm just really curious as to, with this being your first book, like how did you get to the end of it?
I was just trying to think of what would be the surprising ending, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Maybe someone you don't suspect, but I don't want to give too much away.
Mm-hmm. Did you
So
find that during the process that you were changing your mind as the writer, or was it
I
always
I
like you're just
was.
like totally open? Okay.
On this one I was. I write totally differently now than I did when I wrote
Mm-hmm.
this. I plan it all out because if you don't have your plan, you get a lot of rewriting, a lot of editing, and I'm kind of lazy about that. I don't want to have to rewrite a whole lot of stuff.
Me too.
So I'd rather get it right the first time. But yeah, that first time I was like I said, I was learning, and I was talking to my teacher, and he was like, you really should know ahead of time like
Mm-hmm.
who's gonna who's gonna be the killer. But yeah, I do it differently now. I'm a plotter now.
there you go. There you go. And I will always say I'm a plotter as well. But I think that's one of the great things that's fun about being on this show and talking with folks because for all we know, our next guest is going to be totally nope. I just go by the seat of my pants and I have no idea what's going to happen. And
Mhm.
it's so great that it works differently for all of us.
Mhm.
And just I think that's fantastic. But enough about what I think. Um, Emma Stewart, one of our two intrepid investigators. She's kind of an introvert. That's all I'm going to say because I would like you to introduce Emma to our viewers.
Well, Emma's she's a little burnt out on her career. She's been, working in computers, being in a cubicle, and but she's very smart. She notices things that maybe other people might not notice. And she's, like you said, she's introverted, and then her best friend Laura is her polar opposite. And I wanted to explore the kind of friendship that forms at a pivotal time in your life. So, like, they met in college, and Laura really helped Emma through a difficult family situation, and that just really bonded them. So even though they're very different, and even as they've changed over the years, they've remained very close friends that can always look out for each other and trust each other. Then it was fun to write, like Emma being the the intellectual one, and Laura's like a little more like she's a social butterfly, and she's an extrovert, and she tends to get Emma in trouble. But but that's part of the fun.
And she
Well, you know,
also
and
gets her, she at least gets her out of some trouble a little bit. And
yes.
I just think their dynamic is so it's just so much fun and so funny. The way that they work off of each other, it was just like I was just constantly chuckling to myself while reading their back and forth. And like those are the kinds of friendships that I think that are the most fun, is the person that you can just constantly be laughing with, constantly be making jokes with. And so I'm curious because Shelley, this book is really funny.
Oh, thank you.
And I find humor to be such a difficult thing to capture and to write. And I also like hate this question when people ask it, because I never know the answer. But it's like, what's your secret to writing funny scenes? Do you have a formula that you're working with? Do you have like some type of the writing course that you took? Was there some like humor aspects in it? Like what helps you get to the funny, to find the funny in that scene?
Well, I say that like Emma, she gets to say what, the little quips that I think of like in real life. I would think of it like an hour after I'd left, but on the page, Emma can say it right at the right moment. When I was writing it, I was just kind of thinking like, where are some opportunities here for humor? So putting Emma in an exercise class, and
Oh my God.
I could, I mean, there's a lot of me that goes into, some of her opinions and everything, and I'm the person that's like facing the wrong way during the exercise class, and so I put Emma in one of those situations. She's a fish out of water, and there's so many opportunities for humor with a fish out of water character that it just seemed to grow from that.
You know, you mentioned that exercise class, and yes, that was a fantastic scene, and the way Emma kind of withdraws herself from the class is just so much fun. But I want to also, talk about that class is also part of the conflict in the neighborhood
Hmm.
for a number of different reasons, and I just thought it was a brilliant way to bring not only the humor, but then you have the conflict there too. Did you have some divine intervention with that, or did you always know? Because I'll be honest, there are no exercise classes outdoors here in Indiana. It just doesn't happen. How'd you come up with that particular scene, if you don't mind saying?
There is an exercise class in my neighborhood.
Oh, really? Okay.
But it is not taught by Francesca. I embellished a lot.
Okay. Okay.
But there is an exercise class in my neighborhood. And there's always conflicts in neighborhoods about like, oh, they're parking on the street, and they're blocking the roads, and so that seemed like it would bring a lot of people into the neighborhood and cause problems on that in that spectrum. So
I the whole like how this neighborhood comes together is, it's so funny because and we talked a little bit about this before the show, Shelley, where we had this like, how I've never really heard anybody talk positive about an HOA before, um, and they exist. I'm assuming they exist for reasons that are beneficial, and maybe it's just the struggles that you have to endure. That's like, okay, the positives eventually outweigh the cons, but like we just hear about the cons. I don't know,
yeah.
but the HOA, it just seems like such a there's so much to unpack there when it comes to the dynamics that it creates within the neighborhood, all the rules that everybody has to follow, all of that good stuff. You had mentioned that you had served on an HOA briefly. Did you know that when you started this, that was going to figure in so greatly into the mystery itself, or was that something that the HOA just kind of repeatedly kind of kept growing and growing as like part of the conflict that Emma and Laura are facing?
That's really where I think where it started, where my brain started working through it was just because in an HOA, people get very emotional, very intent on things that seem kind of small, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and there's a lot of like power that collects in kind of like ordinary places. It's an interesting dynamic. So it just seemed like there's a lot of fodder for mysteries there.
Yeah.
I guess there are some good things about HOAs. I mean, my neighborhood is a good neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to all my neighbors. I love you all. It's great. But if I have one of my best friends lives in a neighborhood that doesn't have an HOA, and occasionally there's something like, someone painted a giant Cocopelli on their garage door, or there's a broken down, well, in Florida it would be a boat, but broken down car that's just in the front yard all the time, or something like that. We don't have to worry about that. But so there are some positives to it.
Well, and I know here in central Indiana, one of the big benefits about HOAs is that they take care of getting the snow plowed during the winter.
Mm,
Oh,
So,
that's
yeah,
great. Yeah.
so there is that. Yeah, to
it's
be fair,
it's kind of similar. I didn't realize this until recently. There was a story on my local NPR station, and they were talking about the HOAs are responsible for maintaining like water management in the neighborhood. And in Florida, like there's lots of lakes and ponds everywhere. When you build a neighborhood, you pretty much have a pond in every neighborhood, and that's something that the HOAs deal with. And I didn't know that beforehand.
Oh.
So there are some things that they're good for.
We
yeah.
learn something new every day.
Hmm.
And I want to make sure that we say hello to our viewers who are joining us live during our stream today. We've got Farmhouse Reader popping into the chat saying, "Hi, all. Sorry I'm late. Furnace issues." So, Farmhouse Reader, hopefully your furnace issues are
Yeah.
getting. This is not the kind of or time of year that you want to be having furnace issues. And then we have Regina the Southernista saying, "Good afternoon, everyone." Regina, thanks for being here. We are just about ready to dive into estate sales. And I need to know, Shelley, what are some of the best finds that you have come across at an estate sale, or or something that was like the wildest thing that you found at an estate sale? Because I imagine that there are probably quite a few of both that you've come
Yeah.
across.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of sometimes there's categories. Like some estate sales will have like large collections of creepy dolls, right?
Ooh.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm always like, the eyes are watching me as I go through them.
Oh gosh.
And there have been some I've been to with lots of taxidermy. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Yeah, that freak you out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. People collect interesting things, right? I mean, but some of the things that I personally have, I got like, an antique typewriter that I got in an estate sale. I went to this one with a house of someone that had lived in Japan for many years, and they had lots of like Japanese art and prints, and there was just so much to look through. I came home with um I think it's called shogi, Japanese chess game,
Oh,
basically.
yep. Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. And I have a little trolley that I got that I've turned into a bookstore. I mean, bookstore, I wish, into a bookshelf that is like a British trolley. I don't know. It's made out
Oh,
of like,
like a
Very
train
cool.
trolley, like the where they put like the carts for
it's
like
got
pushing
like
stuff
three
on trains.
shelves. Yeah. Yeah. I
Oh,
don't know if it
cool.
would be for the train, but that's what I imagine. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's got like three shelves of wooden shelves and brass wheels. And I think it could be more like maybe a library cart or something
Oh,
like that.
okay. Ooh,
Nice,
that is
nice.
nice. I
Yeah.
the taxidermy thing. I can't imagine what you've seen because I've been I remember an estate sale where somebody was selling. It was a. Have you ever heard of a jackalope?
Yes.
Yes.
I was just like, oh, this person just like fused a rabbit with antlers and
Mhm.
decided to go with it. And
Yeah.
I was just like, huh, interesting. The things that you come across there.
I
Um,
did read a story once. I don't think this was an estate sale. I think it was a yard sale. Someone sold a chest freezer,
mhm.
and the person who bought the chest freezer, now mystery readers are already like thinking, where
Yeah,
is
I'm
this
like,
going,
oh
right?
God.
Hmm. Yeah.
The person who bought the chest freezer realized when they got it home there was a body in it. And Yeah. And the person who sold it, who forgot to remove the body before they sold the chest, they had been claiming a relative's social security
Jeez.
after
Oh,
the relative died. And they just,
wow.
but then they sold the freezer chest with the body in it. I
Oh
mean, you just
my.
can't make this stuff up.
That is might be my favorite story I've heard on this show.
Yeah.
Wow. We've actually got a couple comments for you, Shelley, in the chat regarding estate sales. First, we have farmhouse readers saying love how much they love an estate sale. Regina would like to know: are estate sales different from yard sales, or are they the same?
Usually, the estate sales like everything in the house. So you're
Hmm.
walking through the house, and oftentimes it's someone has died. But sometimes there's like relocation, around here, there are Navy families are moving, leaving town, and they don't want to like tote everything with them. So yeah, it's like that's what I really find interesting is it's like you're walking into someone's life, it feels like.
Hmm.
So
And that's one of the things that I thought was so interesting in the book here is the way that by virtue of the estate sale, and again, not going to talk much more about it, folks. You know what y'all need to do. It provides both Emma and Laura just this amazing level of access to
mm,
Snoop that
mhm,
normally we don't have.
Hmm.
right. It's too bad they didn't think about that before they broke into the house.
Yeah. Hey, they didn't break in, they had a key.
Right. It was
Unfortunately, we don't have too much time, but there is a certain dude that I do want to bring up also. And I tell you what, I probably went back and forth about whether or not this guy was a good guy or not the entire book.
good.
And so, can you talk to us a little about Emma's maybe boyfriend?
Mhm. Sam Turner, he's a Southern lawyer. He's kind of, I picture him as like looking like I think it's Glenn Powell
Hmm,
and
okay.
sounding like Matthew McConaughey.
Oh wow.
And he can start a conversation with a tree stump. He seems to know everybody. And so that's a very interesting pairing for Emma, who doesn't really like to talk to people that much. But when she's with Sam, it kind of brings her out of her shell a bit. So Sam's a lot of fun to write, and I'd like to play them off of each other. They have an interesting dynamic.
Now you say that you picture him as Glenn Powell. Do you have like your other characters? Do you picture them as other individuals? Because I'm always fascinated. It's like who? Because sometimes I feel that I don't see my characters when I'm writing
Yeah,
them. I just hear them, and so I'm always curious. Like, what do you see when when you're writing?
yeah, they're usually kind of amorphous. Like I
Hmm.
have a general idea of what they look like. It varies. Like some characters are just very distinctive in my mind. Like I think I described Mindy as, now this is gonna date me, but she's like Marianne on on Gilligan's Island. She's just this little petite
Hmm.
brunette. Um, all the blonde look-alike women, the Stepford wives. Um, I can picture them, but yeah, um, I also kind of made them opposite. Laura's blonde, Emma's got brown hair. Um, Laura's kind of short, Emma's taller, so sometimes that plays into their jokes with each other, like their little banter. So it varies.
Hmm. And so what do we have? I know book one just came out,
Mhm.
but eager readers need to know: are there more adventures in store for these two ladies?
Yes, and you won't have to wait very long. Book two comes out March 25th.
Oh wow.
And they are gonna at the end of book one, they've decided they're gonna start an estate sale business together. So,
Hmm.
Emma's leaving the cubicle behind and she's gonna pursue a career in her hobby, which is estate sale shopping. So they'll do that together. And their first estate sale, of course, will run into problems when there's a homicide related to the estate. So
And no justice.
well, Emma will and Laura will figure it out. But
There
Yeah.
we go.
We have, I do want to let you know, Shelley, that we have Regina saying, I just received my email from Amazon that your book shipped and she will get it on Thursday. She can't wait to read it. So
Yay. Thanks,
um,
Regina. Hope you enjoy it.
we are super excited that there is more in store. What is the name of book two?
More than she bargained for.
Oh, that's great. Love a good
Nice.
pun. Love a
Yeah.
good pun.
Hmm.
Um, as we begin to wind down, Shelley, for folks that want to stay connected with you and hear more about what's going on in your writing world, all of that good stuff, do you have any online events folks can pop into? A newsletter that they can sign up for? How do they stay connected?
I would love if they join my newsletter. You can find me on my website. It's shelleymarsh.com. And I am doing local events. I'm going to be back down in St. Augustine,
Nice.
JC, next month. And I'm also going to be at a couple of conferences, Left Coast Crime and Malice Domestic.
Oh,
So,
yay.
yeah.
Well,
Cool.
good. We'll get to see
Excellent.
you hopefully at Malice then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My very next event is this coming Saturday at San Marco Books in Jacksonville.
Oh, wonderful.
And
Wonderful.
tonight we're
Fantastic.
having a party. Right after this, we have a launch party.
Nice.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
congratulations. This is all fantastic. It's great to
Thank
have
you.
somebody. It's always great to meet new blood, as it were. And so, welcome to, the mystery writing life and all its craziness.
Yes, thank you.
Have Shelley, have you been to Malice Domestic
No, I've
before?
never
This will be
gone.
your first one. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
You're gonna have an amazing time. Even though I said that I would be the Laura to JC's Emma, I am very introverted, and yet I like there's something about Malice that it just like makes you feel like you I don't know. It's just like it's your time to like come alive as a author. So I you're gonna have a fabulous time.
I'm looking
I was
forward to it.
actually trying to figure out my swag this morning because even though it's in April, it's like man, you got to get the orders in, all of that good stuff, and so
It's good to
getting
know.
those all that stuff prepared, and I'm really
Hmm.
excited about what I decided on. So,
Oh, okay.
but I'm going to keep it a
I'd be
secret for
interested to
now.
see that.
So as we like to do, we love to hear what are you reading, what are you listening to, watching, being entertained by these days. Anything that our viewers can add to their reading list, watch list, all of that good stuff.
I found this fun mystery on BritBox called Ludwig, I guess.
Oh,
Yes, that's a
It's really
neat.
fun
good.
one. Yes. Yeah.
A puzzle setter. He designs puzzles, but then he
Ooh.
becomes the amateur sleuth and uses using his puzzle solving ability to solve the crime. So that
Oh,
was
I
a good
haven't heard of
one.
that one before. I'll have to add that because I do love a good BritBox show.
And as far as reading, I'm working my way through the Slow Horses series by Mick.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
love it.
that has been a very popular one that folks have shared recently. Was there like a new like installment of it just come out recently, or
I
because I just
think.
wonder like how like sometimes like all of these books just
Mhm,
like pop up in like kind of become popular,
mhm. Well, there
and I
was a
always wonder
show on
what.
Apple that probably and made
Yep.
people interested in it. But I think the latest one was out in the fall. I don't know how
Oh,
long I
okay.
have to wait since I'm kind of a new fan. I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
long he takes in between books. So,
Yeah, Clown Town #9 came out in the fall,
mhm.
book #9, and then the Apple series that came out
Down on
was
Cemetery Road is also his too.
yeah, yeah, and so yeah, I think that's only book season. That's only based on book like 5 or 6. So
Mm,
you got plenty of time, Shelley.
yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna beat them before they get there. I'm gonna have to wait, but wait impatiently.
Oh yeah.
JC, any new? Did you catch anything over the weekend that tickled your fancy?
We finished Only Murders in the Building night
Mm-hmm.
before last, and love the fact that there's going to be yet another season. And the way they finished it to make sure that the murder
I
actually the
love
investigation
that.
happened
Just like,
in the building was yeah
that
was an
was
absolute
great.
delight. So that's always fun. So that's what I got. How about you, Sarah?
Nice. So I have a true crime recommendation. We just watched, it's called Killer Confessions, where he is a Texas Ranger that he's called into these cases where they need a confession. And he just like knows how to get in the mind of someone and is able to like convince them to talk to them and say what happened. The whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, why are these people like saying like, I want to talk to my lawyer? Like it always like boggles my mind, like how like people are just, they don't either know the legal system or they think that they can talk their way out of it. Spoiler alert, folks, always have a lawyer. Like, even if you're innocent, always get yourself a lawyer. And then on the fictional side of life, I found out that my husband had never seen Blades of Glory, which came up while we were watching figure skating over the weekend from the Olympics. And I don't even know like how it came up, but I was like, you've never seen Blades of Glory before? And for those of you that don't know, it is a Will Ferrell comedy with John Heder. They are two male figure skaters that get banned from singles competition and thus have to pair up together to partake in the Winter Sports Olympics, although they couldn't use the word Olympics in it. And it's so funny. And it's just like, they don't make comedies like this anymore. And I was like, oh gosh, it was a funny, nostalgic view. That was very, very entertaining.
The world needs more comedies.
Yes,
indeed it does.
You are so right. We need more laughter, which folks can most certainly get by checking out your book, Shelley. Gosh, I love a good laugh out loud read, and you definitely deliver. And we're so excited to hear that there's more in store for Emma and the estate sale mysteries. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We greatly appreciate you sharing a moment with us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, anytime. And to our wonderful viewers who were here with us live on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook, on all the platforms, we're very happy that you're here with us. And we will be back on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be joined by Brandy Salache, who she was here, she was here several years ago at this point.
It's been a couple, 3 years, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, holy moly, Brandy has been on an incredible journey since then. TV shows, podcasts, everywhere. And so we're going to be talking about her new book that is out, and we're really excited to be able to catch up with her. So we look forward to seeing you all during our next broadcast. But until then, everybody, thank you for being here and stay bookish. Have a good one, folks. Bye.
Thank you.